Hey guys, I'm here with books 40 to 45 in my 2016 wrap up, and as you can see, I'm in a new angle and I'm using my cousin's lights, and I think this looks really good. So maybe I'll just be filming from this area more often. So the first book I decided to pick up is Trollhunters by Guillermo del Toro and Daniel Kraus. This is a pretty good novel, actually. I was hounded by Remus to read this, and I finally decided to pick it up because it's almost been a year since I got this, and I think I should, start reading it. So it's about this kid whose dad's brother ends up missing, and he can't find him, so his dad is sort of like really scared for his son, and then after that the son ends up fighting trolls with his uncle. It's just really interesting because there is colored illustrations all throughout the book, and I really like how they gave a sense of history to the trolls, like how some history in our real life has some stuff to do with the troll world. So that was pretty good, and I like how they're actually very sophisticated people. And what was really interesting was like how trolls sort of only live at night, because when they come out in the daytime they turn to stone. They end up like watching a lot of TV, and one of their favorite channels is static. It's like basically they just watch it and they sort of get high off of it or something. And what was really interesting was one troll ended up sort of watching a lot of BBC, so he has a unique British accent. So I just found that really hilarious. And then when I finished that, I was really in the mood for more middle grade and like fast-paced stuff. So, oh no, what's that? No! Okay, got it. I was like, what is that? There we go. My baby. So I decided to pick up Oops, my camera. So I decided to pick up Magnus, Chase, and the Gods of Asgard. I found this actually to be much more interesting and than like the Percy Jackson series, but maybe because it has a completely different protagonist with a completely different myth system that is really like, I don't know, it just kind of got me better than the Greek stuff. But mostly that's just because I think I'm so overwhelmed with all the Greek stuff. But for some reason I also really like the fact that I enjoy reading about Norse gods more, maybe because I don't know a lot of their myths, so I find it more interesting. But I mean, it's still pretty, the Greek stuff, not to put it down, it's still pretty good. But this could be a new favorite of mine. And then what I decided to pick up after that was The Trials of Apollo, The Hidden Oracle by Riordan, which I also had and didn't read yet. And I like how we have different perspectives from Riordan's Greek world. Like from Percy Jackson we get the views of a demigod. From the next series, the I forgot what it's called, but it has the Romans in it, so you have the Roman side of the Greek myth. Now we have the god side of his Greek world, his Percy Jackson world. And I really like how there are cameos from like or honorable mentions of all of the famous heroes from the past series. And it's just really interesting because like you can really see how the gods look at not just their own children but the children of other gods. Like in one portion, it's gonna be a bit of a spoiler, but in one portion of this book, like Apollo has to stop himself from saying cannon fodder when referring to the demigods. I mean, like, it's very it really gives you like a view of these people who've had like everything, and then they just choose other people to do their hard tasks and things just because they want to, or because it's just entertaining for them. So there's also a part here. I'm just gonna flash my hands, and then I'm gonna say a spoiler, and then when I flash my hands again, that means it's done. So if you don't want to be spoiled for this particular part, just mute me, okay? So there, okay, so spoiler starting now. There's a part here in this book where Apollo is all like, I met this really cute guy in Switzerland, but his talking sword really put me off. And then I was like, talking sword? That's like Magnus Chase though, you know? Because Magnus Chase has a talking sword. So I'm like, is he talking about the god Frey? So that was like really interesting. So I'm not sure if you guys noticed that, but you know, look out for that. So, okay, spoilers over. Anyway, what was also really interesting about this book was that Apollo also has kids from guys. Like, it's not just women, it's also men. Which is actually interesting because in the myths, yeah, they have male lovers and female lovers, most of these gods. So it was good that he kind of addressed that, because that was something different. Because you can't make it all like, oh, they're all straight. Because even like Annabeth, she's not really born normally. Like, she's a brainchild, basically. Her birth happened because her dad and Athena had like a moment of connection during like their minds or something, or like, you know, an intellectual conversation or something like that. At least that's what I recall understanding it. So just correct me if I'm wrong in any of what I said about Apollo, okay? So then after that, I was like, okay, I want more middle grade. It's about to be September, and I'm like, what do I want to read? So then I decided to pick up Constable and Toop by Gareth P. Jones. First of all, this cover is amazing. Can you see how it glows? There aren't any illustrations, but the beginning of the chapters looks like this beautiful Victorian era sort of theme to it, and it's very, very good. This is a multi-perspective book about ghosts and real life people, and how this story just comes together so beautifully. Like, I really don't want to spoil anything about this book or mention any plot stuff, because it might just take away from the overall feel. But I will say that this is a very good book if you're into middle grade Victorian era supernatural fantasy type stuff. So, you know, you should definitely pick this up. And then the last book that I decided to pick up, which I've had for more than 2 years now, so I was just like, you know, I should probably read that, is The Inquisitor's Apprentice by Chris Moriarty. Now, this book takes place in fictional, magical New York in the early, I would say, Prohibition era, because this mentions banning magic. Oops. Like in real life New York, we had banning of alcohol. And there's the really, really fun part for me was when I read this thing about this kid using illegal magic. Or they were having a discussion about using illegal magic, and then one of the grandparents starts saying, oh no, he's probably gonna run away to and join Magic Inc., which is sort of like the fantasy alternate version of Murder Inc., which was the sort of Jewish gangsters of New York back in this era. So I really liked how they included that, because they turned a lot of the gangster stuff to more like magical gangster stuff. Like, but there's also a lot of like Yiddish slang, I think you would call that, in here that I didn't understand, so I had to Google it. And I wish I understood it so I could like get a better feel from it. But yes, this was very, very good. I liked it. And then there's also illustrations, not colored sadly, but quite interesting and pretty creepy, like just right. And then they also mention Houdini in here, so here you go. They also mention Houdini and like how he had to prove that his escape tricks weren't real magic, they were legit escape tricks, because if not, you know, a real magician doing illusions, like, not really that interesting. But it's still really, really good. I mean, I don't know how else I can explain this book, but yeah, if you haven't picked this up, you really should, if you're into middle grade like fantasy magic type stuff. Also, it's slightly historical fiction, so that's pretty good. So these are all the books that I, for the what's it, 2016 wrap up. I keep forgetting because I'm so used to saying, oh, these are what I read in the month of August, this is what I read in the month of September, blah blah blah, you know. So I'm already in book 45 and I'm still not used to this. Okay, so yeah, these are all the books I read. If I mention anything that was, you know, wrong, just correct me down below, and then like I'll just put an annotation or whatever. So yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for sticking around. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!